Oh, he's quite near her. No, he's not. Oh, fail.
You join me on my trip cycling solo from the UK to Australia, where I'll be wild camping my way along on a budget of about $10 a day. So after crossing Europe and the Indian subcontinent, it was time to cross into Southeast Asia and Myanmar. So when I left the UK, the India-Myanmar border had been closed to international travellers for decades and was a big question mark for the trip. But just before I arrived, they relaxed the restrictions for the first time and I nervously went to cross the border at the town of Inle.
Down that valley is Myanmar. It literally only opened up about 3 months ago, which is crazy lucky. This border really doesn't see much trade. There are no trucks coming this way. I do not understand it. I haven't seen any trucks for days. India and Myanmar just do not exchange much stuff.
So after lots of waiting around and bag checks, I made it over the eerily quiet border crossing and into Myanmar in the town of Tamu.
Crazy how much has changed over that border. I thought nothing really would because it's only this kind of imaginary line, but it's not. It's a really closed boundary, unlike every other border I've been over.
So the road suddenly seemed empty and there were just way less people everywhere. English was also almost nowhere to be found, and Burmese Buddhism popped up too, in these beautiful shrines and temples.
Some of these bridges are appalling. I'm like falling into the holes in these loose planks. My little skinny bike tyres can't handle it.
So in Myanmar, after independence from the British in 1948, the national military quickly took control of the country and ruled an authoritarian state for decades, despite continuing resistance from the population. This resistance included the huge 1988 protests, following which the military government changed the country's name from Burma to Myanmar, partly to rebrand and help them consolidate their control. Finally, in 2016, the first democratic election saw longtime activist Aung San Suu Kyi become Myanmar's leader, and the state began to open up. Aung San Suu Kyi was criticised by many around the world though, when in 2017 she defended atrocities committed by the military against the Rohingya Muslim minority group. So I visited Myanmar in 2019, but since then the military government once again seized control of the country in 2021, resulting in civil war and lots of civilian deaths. In fact, even when I visited, small civil wars with various ethnic groups continued in different regions, meaning I had to divert my route to avoid these so-called black zones. On a personal level though, despite the challenges the Burmese people have faced, I was once again met with smiley, curious and really kind people everywhere I went.
So for my second night in a row, I've been invited in. Thank you so much, man. And look at this feast we have as well. So of course you got your fresh lettuce, your okra, but then you have this assortment of other dishes. And yeah, the different flavours between India and Myanmar are crazy. For example, this soup just epitomises that we've come from South Asia, like India, Bangladesh, into East Asia, and it's like ginger, chili, garlic, like really strong, beautiful soup there. Jesutamare. Once again, I cannot say thank you to Lou Soleil enough. And he is a master chef. Watch this technique. Bash it out. Pizza chefs, eat your heart out. Watch that technique. When you crack an egg, stick it in there. Ho ho ho. And I'm telling you, this thing tastes as good as it looks. Off. And boom. Oh, bite size roti with egg for 500 chat. Get to this shop, it's awesome.
I will show you.
Sweetened creamer, okay. Oh, to get that dense flavour. Oh, it's like a goo. Very hot water. Then that's the tea that's been boiling away. And then finally, there's more sweetened evaporated. Okay. Wow, and they're ready to serve. This one for me?
Yeah, this one.
I think it has to be because this stuff is great. It's like a dessert. Thank you so much. Jeju tamale. And now we've come past where I meant to go to see this man's house. We don't speak the same language at all, but I was willing to go the wrong way to see his house. Our Buddhist. And I've finally got my hands on a tiffin pot to have a look at. I'm pretty sure there's a tiffin pot, but you got like your rice in there, your curry underneath, and they've got like eggs in there. It's magic. And so for breakfast, we've got our assortment, fish, tomato, chili thing, and this here is a fried frog. And how does it taste? And from Hakka you got them. Just like a good fried chicken, that is.
From there, I carried on through the really tranquil and unpolluted Burmese countryside, and then managed to meet back up with my old friend Martin, who I'd met and cycled with in India, and who was now with his brother Polo, as we visited the ancient city of Bagan.
See this? That is the Tanaka, the face paint. Oh, mine is rubbish. Anyway, what you do is you squirt some water on a stone, you get your little bit of wood, you rub it on the stone, yeah, stick it on your face.
It's first cosmetic.
First cosmetic.
To make your skin fresh.
Second, to make your skin fresh.
To prevent from the skin burning.
To prevent from the skin burning.
Socially be accepted in Burma.
To socially be accepted in Burma.
Eventually we made it to the massive Lake Inle, where it was time to part ways as I had to head south, and with some help from locals I managed to find the boat which comes once a day to do the 9-hour journey down to the end of the lake. Now Lake Inle is famous not only for being beautiful, but for the fact that out in the lake are villages which are set up on stilts and even have floating gardens where locals grow vegetables on top of the floating water hyacinth plant.
They still have telephone cables and is that, yeah, a satellite dish. So they're not missing out on phone calls or TV, even though they're in the middle of a lake.
Boats like this are really the lifeline of these villages, so although it started off empty, boxes and bags of vegetables and old ladies would arrive from either side on other boats and be loaded in until we were all squeezed to max capacity.
He's going all the way to the back. Oh, that's the toilet.
I had absolutely no way of communicating with everyone else on board, but even without any words, it was an amazing chance to get just a little insight into people's lives on the lake.
You don't get an award much bigger than that view for a day of climbing. Quite interesting listening to Myanmar radio, because there's clearly opium. Apparently they have big poppy fields in this country, which is why there's a lot of armed groups operating why you can't go into a lot of areas.
It was then time, sadly, to carry on and leave Myanmar, but not after one last sing-along with some Burmese guys I met on the street. See you next time on the SOLCYCLE, where I become a millionaire, take part in a Lao wedding, and get absolutely battered by some mountain roads.